Welcome back, casual gardeners. Saving seeds sounds like the ultimate gardening hack. Free seeds forever, right? Well, this year I've been saving more seeds and more types of seeds than usual. Like most things in the garden, it's actually not that simple. So today let's break down the real pros and cons of saving seeds from your garden. So let's start with the pros of saving seeds. And this is not an exhausted list. Let me know down in the comments if there's a benefit of saving seeds that you feel like I've missed. Perhaps most obviously, you're going to save some money because you don't pay anybody for the seeds that come from your garden. They're free. But we will talk about the actual cost of those seeds later on. From a money perspective, it can be quite a huge savings. I know that during the seasons that I do order all or most of my seeds online, I can spend $100 or $200 on seeds for the garden. And while I do actually wind up harvesting more value than that in produce, if we can cut that cost down, of course you're going to be able to better justify your gardening habit to your spouse. Secondly, I really like the self-reliance that saving seeds gives me. I don't have to worry about whether or not I can find the seeds I need from my garden because I've already got them and I got them for free. Your garden becomes more resilient when you save your own seeds. Third, you're introducing the possibility that the seeds you're planting are adapted to your specific conditions. Over generations of saving seeds from your garden and then turning around and planting them in your garden, you may come up with something called a land race, which is kind of like what you started with, but also gradually over time, there are changes in the genetic balance of your crop that make them do a little bit better on your land. You're making a race of vegetables that's specific to your garden. That's kind of cool. Reason number 4 that it's a great idea to save seeds from your garden is that you are improving the biodiversity of seed stocks by maintaining your separate population of seeds. So if you like to collect heirloom varieties and then save seeds from those, you are part of the global supply of those heirloom seeds, which means if they disappear somewhere else, you may be able to play a role in making those seeds available again so they don't die out. Which is kind of cool. I mean, it probably won't happen, but it could. It could. And it definitely won't happen if you don't do it. Number 5, satisfaction and tradition. There is something immensely satisfying in growing your own seed that you collected yourself from your own garden. I have plants in this garden that go back over generations to other gardens. And just having that connectivity to the past, feeling like everything's just kind of strung together, not just in my memory, but physically, kind of like a living, growing, delicious photo album is kind of neat. This corn is a great example of a plant that I'm saving seeds from specifically because it'll save me a ton of money. Baby corn varieties are actually really hard to find seeds from, and I paid more for these seeds than I really wanted to. So I'm going to make sure I collect seeds from these plants this year. This is my first season collecting seeds from pea plants in my garden. You can see it's gotten pretty dry and it's taken up a lot of space. And it turns out it's very simple to do. You just let them yellow, let the pods yellow on the vines and squeeze out the dry peas. These are now seeds that I can plant next spring. Lettuce seeds are also very easy to collect. You just want to make sure that you've separated them from the fluff as you drop them into your container, because they are a lot like dandelion seeds in that they will blow around. I allowed some of my radishes to mature fully instead of harvesting them for the roots, and that means that I get to collect some radish seeds. Once you've got the seeds and the pods separated from one another, it's actually pretty easy to collect them, and these are ready to give me another radishy spring. So those are some pretty good pros. Remember, if I missed any, put them down in the comments. Let's talk about the cons of saving seeds now. And there are cons. There's no such thing as a free lunch, or actually a truly free seed. The first con that you're going to be dealing with saving your own seeds is cross-pollination. For instance, I'm growing several varieties of peppers all together. If I save seeds from those peppers, and I probably will, there is a chance that the seeds are not going to grow true to type because there may have been cross-pollination. I might end up with peppers that are milder or spicier than expected, or that aren't recognizable as peppers that I've grown before because I might have created an accidental hybrid, and I won't know until I plant those seeds and they grow in my garden. Secondly, you may be growing hybrid seeds, and if you're doing that, whatever you collect from them isn't going to grow true to type. A lot of really popular crops that we grow in our gardens are in fact hybrid. So if you're growing vegetables from seed in your garden, or even from a nursery or big box store, you're going to want to check, is this heirloom or is this a hybrid? If it's a hybrid, don't collect those seeds unless you are super excited about random wacky seed adventures. Third, you are going to be paying a cost. You're going to be spending time and labor and garden space to get those seeds. We harvest a lot of our crops immature, and waiting for them to mature so that you can get the seeds from them means that you're going to have to sacrifice that space for that crop longer. Examples of that right now in my garden are fava beans, peas, lettuce. I think that's it. But there are a few things that I'm saving seeds from that means I don't get to replant in that space as rapidly as I would otherwise. And that is a cost. So there is no such thing as a free lunch. There is no such thing as free food from your garden. We pay for it one way or another. We're just picking what we want our currency to be. Number 4, do you have the proper storage conditions for your seeds? In order to really last well, seeds need to have a cool, dry, dark environment. If you can't provide those 3 factors, then you might actually be better off buying and planting fresh seed instead of trying to save your own seeds. Now, most of us have a closet toward the center of the floor plan of our house or apartment that we could actually stash our seeds in. And in most cases, that is going to do the job. But on the off chance that you don't have that, you might need to buy seeds. All right, lastly, number 5, you're going to get a decline in germination rates over time from saving seeds too long. So if you are saving seeds, you are going to need to be careful to track the ages of your seeds to have some idea of how long each type of seed is going to stay viable in storage, and to circulate out your old seeds and bring in new seeds regularly. So you can save seeds, but you can't save them indefinitely, which is kind of too bad. I've had seeds that I wished I could have saved longer, but they just didn't work. So is it worth it to save your seeds? I believe it absolutely is, as long as you're working with open pollinated or heirloom initial seed stock. And you've accounted for the possibility of hybridization in your own garden, and you're either okay with it or you've done something to prevent it. But honestly, don't feel guilty if you keep buying seeds year after year. I do that too. In some cases, it's just not worth the time or the effort or the land or all three to get those seeds consistently every year. So let me know in the comments which seeds you saved this year, or which seeds you don't think you're ever going to save because it just seems like too much effort to you. I love hearing your gardening stories in my comments. Also, it really tweaks the algorithm so that I can be a little bit more successful. That is one way you can support me on my channel. Another way you can do it, of course, is to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you get notifications whenever I drop a new video. I am continuing to garden. You will now start seeing videos about chickens. That's a new thing, and gosh, I'm excited about it. As always, thank you so much for joining me here in my garden, and I hope you have a wonderful time in your own.